Hi there, Diane Brandon Moody here again with another episode of 50 Something Love. I'm doing my mini marathon of 12 episodes, one daily, until we close the new Simply Irresistible time frame. So, today's topic is, have you grieved your last relationship? I don't necessarily mean if the person died, although that's included, but if the relationship ended in a way that wasn't really what you wanted, there is undoubtedly some grief hiding around you somehow. And the other person can't find a way in, a new person can't find a way in until you have properly grieved this one. Um, I think that is a very reasonable thing to do. I'm not necessarily talking to widows right this minute. I'll get to you in a second. But for those of you who you felt like you were cheated on or screwed over in some way, um, there was violence, even if there was violence in your previous relationship or marriage, there is every reason to grieve that relationship. That it wasn't the relationship that you wanted. It was a very wrong relationship. And to be able to let that go in some way. Now, one of the best ways to grieve a relationship or to grieve anything for that matter is to cry. Did you know this is one of the top nervous system regulating things that you can do? It will help you get into a more regulated space. And I'll be talking more about that as we go on in other episodes. But crying is good for a woman. It gets rid of toxins and chemicals and kind of resets. Crying too much probably doesn't help. And I don't know what enough and too much what that boundary is in you because I think it can be different in everyone. So, grieving might have some parts to it. Journaling this is a very good thing to do. Some of the things you might want to write about, what I really wanted and hoped for in the relationship versus what really happened, what I wanted in the relationship and what I tried to do but couldn't, what I wanted in the relationship but was too large for me to stop, what I wanted in the relationship and wasn't mine to stop. All of these things, write about them in your journal, and that will help you get some clarity and will probably bring up some tears. I think it's very good, excuse me, to list what made you sad about this um, relationship. What made you happy? What made you delighted? What made you angry? Write all this. Write. If you're writing it in your journal, nobody needs to see it. And if you want to feel extra clear that nobody has seen it, then tear it up and throw it in the fire after you're done. But making this an ending, a definite ending in your grieving, is the best thing that you can do for yourself before you're ready to have a new relationship, in my opinion. After you've done the grieving, and again, I'll get to widows in a moment. I'm getting to the people who were disappointed or suffered in some way. Um, the next thing is to let go of the notion that anything else can save it, especially if there's something like violence involved in this relationship. There is nothing you should even try to do to save it. It's time. It's time to move on, especially if the other person has no interest in trying to save it. It's time. Sometimes we just have to realize that even though it's not what we want, we have to move on. I remember I was in a class about 10 years ago, and a woman got very surprised by the fact that her husband, who she loved dearly, had declared that he wanted out of the marriage, he wanted a divorce, and this is what is going to happen. He was pretty definitive. He didn't leave room for any other opinions. I suspected at the time he was probably seeing someone else, and that was true. I don't understand. The woman he was leaving was absolutely beautiful, but sometimes you don't understand that, and sometimes, it's just not understandable. But after she was rolling around in the messiness of how she didn't want a divorce, and we talked about it on several occasions, and I finally said, honey, I think you're going to have to accept that this is a divorce. And she said, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want this to be the end. And I said, I totally understand that. I understand why you're saying that. It's very clear to me where you stand. But here's this thing, my friend. If one person is bound and determined to leave a relationship, that's pretty much the way it goes. You can't save something if both people don't want to save it. It has to be both of you. You have to both be in it. It may be messy, it may be ugly. You may need a third party, you may need help, but you gotta work on it together. That's just the end of that. Now I'm going to be talking to the widows that have lost their husbands when they passed away. This is not an experience I've had, so forgive me for not understanding all the finer points. I do understand that this probably hit you like a ton of bricks. You may or may not have known it was coming, but you were devastated by the loss. I get that. That's extremely understandable. And it's going to take you some time to get back to normal. Your world isn't normal right this minute. Your world is topsy-turvy. It's going to take you probably 2 years before you're even ready to think about having another relationship with another person. And I think that should be the case. Um, give yourself at least a couple of years. Men tend to want to reattach rather quickly, especially if they're over 50. If they've had a good marriage and they want to attach again. And this isn't always true for women. I'm not against women doing it again, but you got to give yourself some time, and you have to fully understand that even though you can always love the man who died, your husband, you can always keep a place for him in your heart. In order to have another relationship, they need to exist side by side. The one you remember fondly and the new one. And you can't keep drawing parallels to the one that's gone. That that just doesn't work because that was one person and that one person is now gone. And you can't keep drawing those parallels. It's very reasonable for you to find another person if you want one. It's very reasonable to want love back in your life. It's very reasonable to have somebody who you can enjoy spending time with. All of that's reasonable, but you got to give yourself some time. And don't even try to fill it with somebody until you can fill it happily with the memory of your husband still with you. He'll never leave you, but he can be adjacent, not instead of. That's all I've got for today in grieving past relationships before you move on. I'd say it's very common for people who have left one relationship that feels ugly, it feels terrible, it feels painful, and you haven't gone all the way through that. And it's very, very common for people to want to replace something new with something old so you're distracted from the pain of losing what you lost. Don't do this. Please don't distract yourself. It's not fair on anybody else that you do that with. It's not fair to kind of be that way with another person, that the new person is just kind of filling the hole left by the other person. That's not good. Please make sure you've done your grieving fully and completely. If you need grief counseling, that's a good place to start. And there are quite a few widowhood support groups in pretty much any town. I think there are a few options, probably at a church. There are third party places as well. So please, please, please do what you can to finish before you begin again. Thank you very much, Diane Brandon Moody. This is 50 Something Love. I appreciate your being here. Just as a reminder, on Thursday, July 9th at 7 p.m., I'm doing same guy, different outfit. If you're one of those people who tends to keep ending up with exactly the same sort of guy, even though you're trying not to, this class is for you. So it's free. Go to my website, dianebrandonmoody.com, sign up, and we will see you then. Thank you.